Hey guys, welcome back. Here's another video of me live trading. This time it's going to be Carnival Cruise Line CCL. Now, as you notice, I'm already in a long position. I have 1,000 shares long CCL, and I got in around the $21 area, and I added as it went up. So my average is a little bit over 21. I have a stop order in right at $21 so that if this thing comes back down, I want to be stopped out, right? Now, one thing that I always try to do, and the best traders that I know do this, is that they remain unbiased. So even if they're in a trade and they're long in a trade, they're not just going to get married to that position and say, this is going up no matter what. So what I've learned is that always have your mind open to the idea that the stock could reverse. You know, it is a long at this point in time, but there could be a situation where this thing turns around and is no longer a long, right? In fact, it could be a good short. And that's what I'm thinking here. As you see, I take off my stop, and now I'm looking at that 21.20 area, and I'm looking to stop out and go short in that area. And I'll give you my reasoning for why I think this is a short here. But I'm going to get in here with my starter position, 1,000 shares. And if it continues to go lower and confirm that my thesis is correct, that this thing is topping out at that 21.40, 21.50 area, then I can add to a winning trade. The reason that I have for flipping my bias is that I've got a line there at 21.40, a horizontal resistance line. Because I see it reject here at 21.50, I think it's a good opportunity to short a stock that's way too extended to the upside. As you can see, this is up almost 8% on the day. CCL had been on a run up, a multi-day run up prior to this opening day here. And when you see a stock that has a multi-day run up to, say, a major resistance point on the daily chart, then that could signal a good shorting opportunity, because you've got longs that will want to take profits, right, at certain levels. And also you got short sellers that are going to get interested in getting short at those levels too. So that's what was going on through my head when I decided to flip. It's always important to keep the big picture idea in your mind. I normally trade the open, and I'm normally trading 1 minute charts. As you guys have seen in my other videos, I'm scalping 1 minute charts at the open. That being said, it's important to, before the market opens, it's important to review the big picture. Look at the daily chart, look at an hourly chart, look at a 15-minute chart, and kind of paint a picture of where you think the stock is going. As I just took off 500 shares covered there of my 3,000 shares just to lock in a little bit of profit, and I'm going to try to lock in some more here by joining the bid. This way I can get a little bit better fill when I join the bid versus a market order, and that's why I have those buttons on the top right. I have buy the ask, which is going to take the offer price, join the bid, which means I'm going to join the bidders, and I'm going to pay a lower price if I'm buying. And the market, of course, is whatever my broker fills me at, right? So I've taken off a third of my position here at the VWAP. I really want to see is the stock stay below the purple line, which is the VWAP. So if it continues to do that, that's great. That means my thesis is right. I took off another 500 shares there. Again, you know, it's difficult for me to keep my entire position short. So being a scalper at heart, it's difficult for me to not take profits as the stock is going down. As you can see, I've got horizontal lines drawn on my chart at $20.53. Now that's the day's low, and typically if this stock were to reverse, if it were to come down, being that it was up so much the last few days, I would expect it to have a pretty big pullback. So what I should be doing is probably keeping a good size of my position for the bigger targets, right? That $20.60 area. But again, I'm a scalper, and this is not something that I'm great at, right? I'm learning this along with you guys. And, as much as I'd love to hold on to those 3,000 shares all the way to 2060, it's just difficult. And, it's an emotional thing where I want to lock in my profits. So I'm trying to find a balance, right? By taking off smaller pieces. I'm taking off like 100, 200 shares at a time. And as you can see, I still have a little bit over a third of my short position. And now I've got a line there at 2087, which is the support from that opening drive. Now I zoom into the 2-minute chart here. Earlier I was using the 5-minute because I want to see in a more granular detail how the price reacts to this important key level here. That 2087 is super key. It broke out through that right at the open, bounced off of it, acted as support about 4 or 5 minutes into, or about 10 minutes into the open, and then it went off from there. So, and that's where I had my long. Now, on the way back down, it's just as important to see how it's going to react, right? Because all those buyers that were there at the open at that 2090 area, are they going to continue to buy this thing back up? Or are they going to say, you know what, this thing's gone up far enough, I'm not interested anymore in buying. So I'm taking off a few more shares there. As you can see now, I'm down to only 700 shares. Again, it's it's difficult for me to hold on to these things, but hey, profit is profit, right? If there's profit, I'm going to take it. But I'm trying to hold at least some part of my position for the bigger move. And, it would be great if the price came down to like $20.10, which is kind of a resistance or support area that I have marked off from a higher time frame. In these types of consolidation zones, it helps to kind of zoom out a little bit and see that, look, let it consolidate here. Price doesn't just go straight down, right? It's going to go down, have a speed bump bounce, and then continue going down. So at this point in time, what I'm thinking in my head is that it's going to bounce off the 2110 area, the VWAP, and that would be a perfect area for it to bounce off and continue going further down. So what I'd like to see is a clean break of that 2080 area. That's the low of the most recent consolidation that it had just put in. So if it can break that, I think we can get to 2050 and heck, maybe even lower if I want to swing this into the next day, swing short, which I don't do a lot of, to be honest. But if it breaks that 2050 area, I can see it going down to the previous day's close, which is that yellow dotted line, $19.74. Again, this thing is super extended, multi-day run. It's up, it was up 8%. Now it's only up 5%. There we go. We got a break of that 2080 level, and I'm expecting this thing to continue moving lower. I'm only down to 500 shares. So what I've done here, as you can see, is I've put in a stop around 2130. If it retraces back up through the VWAP and breaks over 2125, then I'll take the loss on the remaining shares. The benefit to doing this is that I can put an order to cover some shares, 250 shares there at 2040. So this is what's called an OCO order. This is where, if my stop gets filled, then the bottom limit order is going to get canceled. So this is great for like automating your trading, removing emotions. I can literally just walk away. And if the price goes down to 2040, it'll fill my short and I'll be out of the trade and it'll cancel the top order. So looking at the 15-minute chart here, I just want to show you guys big picture, churning up, coming up from the $19 area, going sideways, and then we got the big pop into 2150 today. So almost like a parabolic move, right, from yesterday's lows of 1950. So I always keep track of the big picture, and that also helps me figure out what levels, like if I were to hold for a longer period of time, such as I am with these remaining 500 shares, like what are areas that I would want to cover this short. So that's pretty much it for this day trade video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you guys. Thanks for watching.